film begins by showing the battle between the two strongest warriors in the martial world at that time. They fight to determine who is the strongest of the two. Since that fight, they were never again known to exist. Several years into the next generation, there was a next generation who became a flying knife swordsman named Manqing and was fighting one of the strongest female warriors at that time named Guanxian. In the fight, it turns out that they both managed to keep up with each other. Since their parents were always at odds, Manqing wanted to marry Guanxian. A few days later, a messenger from the kingdom named YOUKU came to Manqing and gave orders for him to marry Princess Daon. Manqing, who loves Guanxian, refuses the order, so the messenger reports his refusal to Princess Daon. Rejected, she ordered YOUKU to attack Guanxian's residence. In the evening, the royal troops began to visit Guanxian's residence. Guanxian, who was pregnant, was exhausted from using up most of her inner strength, so YOUKU managed to incapacitate her. Soon after, Guanxian was taken as a palace prisoner. When Princess Daon came to her, she did not like to know that Guanxian was pregnant with Manqing's child, so she said that she would soon marry Manqing and asked YOUKU to punish Guanxian. After Guanxian was taken prisoner, Princess Daon returned to Manqing and asked him to be her husband. Manqing, who had no choice, finally agreed on the condition that she let Guanxian go. Hearing that, she agreed, and now he saw Guanxian coming out of there from a distance. He looks sad because he has to part with the woman he loves. The next day, Princess Daon and Manqing got married. While they were at the wedding, it turned out that Princess Daon secretly ordered her troops to finish off Guanxian. Luckily, she was still able to save herself. From that incident, she must continue to avoid the pursuit of Princess Daon's troops until finally, she gives birth to a son. Elsewhere, Manqing is told by one of his bodyguards that Guanxian is still alive. He felt guilty about getting her in trouble and ordered his uncle to look for her. Several years later, Princess Daon gave birth to Manqing's child. She fell unconscious after giving birth to her child. Secretly, Guanxian sneaks in to take revenge. However, when she learns that Princess Daon has given birth to Manqing's child, she gives up her intention to harm Princess Daon and decides to forget her relationship with Manqing forever. Years have passed until, in a village, a very lively wedding is being held. It also shows the son of Guanxian and Manqing named Xun Huai, who has grown up with KK, a rich merchant's daughter who her parents do not want to marry. There, Xun Huai wanted to return his mother's belongings that had been pawned to KK's family, so they fought over the goods. Afterward, he said he promised to help KK escape the wedding if the item was returned to him. Hearing that, KK agreed, and after that, they were chased by KK's family troops and caught, so they returned to her house. Meanwhile, the groom to be married to KK had arrived. Because she still doesn't want to continue the marriage, Xun Huai makes up a story that since childhood, he has fallen in love with KK and loves each other. Hearing this explanation, the groom-to-be finally approved their relationship and cancelled the wedding. Master Feng, who found out his daughter had failed to marry, looked very upset. After that, Xun Huai came home and surprised his mother, but instead, he was slapped by his mother because his mother worried about him. He explained that his departure was to take the jewelry that his mother had pawned to KK's family. Guanxian, who saw the jewelry, felt guilty for hitting her son. Not long after, they noticed the arrival of the assassins sent by Princess Daon. Xun Huai tried to protect his mother until he was injured because his mother had been pushed aside. Seeing that his son had been injured, Guanxian protected her son until she was hit by an arrow. Xun Huai finally managed to take his mother and avoid being chased by the assassins. On the run this time, Guanxian was seriously injured, so she gave Manqing's secret weapon and said that he was Xun Huai's biological father. She also said she had hidden a secret map right behind their house. Before she died, Guanxian advised Xun Huai not to take revenge and live a better life. Meanwhile, the assassins continue to search for their whereabouts. Luckily, this time Xun Huai managed to avoid being chased and hide his mother's corpse. When things seemed safe, he buried his dead mother. He was very sad to have lost his mother and remembered his mother training him hard enough when he was young that he realized that this was all his mother did to protect him. Suddenly, he fell unconscious because he couldn't afford to bury his mother. When he woke up, Xun Huai had been tied to a pole, and a woman named Cai Ye was right in front of him. She asks if he is the son of Manqing, the flying knife swordsman. Xun Huai refuses to reveal his true identity and says that he is willing to be killed by the mysterious woman. Then, she scares him by saying that the potion in front of him is a poison that can kill him instantly. After inhaling the scent for a while, Xun Huai realized that the potion was medicine, not poison. Then he came out and watched Cai Ye practice martial arts. He was so mesmerized by her movements that he didn't realize he had been caught. Soon after, Cai Ye approached, and Xun Huai said he accidentally saw her practicing. However, she suddenly fell unconscious, so he channeled his inner strength to treat her wound. Not long after, they were chatting on top of the pavilion while enjoying the beauty of the night sky as they couldn't fall asleep. Elsewhere, Princess Daon asks Manqing if he has found Guanxian's whereabouts. He said that he didn't know about it. Princess Dawn said she didn't want Guan Xian back. Even so, Man Qing insisted on finding her. Because of that, she thought that her son was not the heir to the legendary swordsman Man Qing. Sometime later, Man Qing met his uncle and asked him to immediately find Guan Xian and his son. After his uncle left, he suddenly remembered his past, who had challenged all schools to face him to show who was the strongest. But in a fight, Man Qing managed to defeat his opponent, but he became very guilty because his opponent was injured, so his attack killed his opponent. On the other hand, the assassins finally managed to find Guan Huai. When the assassins were about to catch him, Cai Ye suddenly helped him and took him to leave. At her place, Guan Huai decides to leave because he knows that the assassins are constantly looking for him. Before leaving, he left a message for Cai Ye. In the evening, when Guan Huai was hiding, someone suddenly knocked him out. When he woke up, KK told him that she had knocked him unconscious to save him from being chased by assassin. There, he said his mother had been killed by an assassin. Not long after, Master Feng, who discovered his presence at his house, was so angry that Guan Huai had ruined his daughter's marriage, so Guan Huai decided to leave KK's house. To hide from the assassin's pursuit, now Guan Huai hides in the embroidery house. Meanwhile, Cai Ye, who was at the restaurant, noticed the assassin's presence. She chose to leave the restaurant. However, she was followed by assassins. KK, who knows Guan Huai is in the embroidery house, is seen meeting him. This time, she wants to ask him to help cancel the event because her father wants to find a partner for her. She asks him to beat everyone who will compete in the sparring area. Soon after, all men can enter the competition. KK, who is fighting, believes that with Guan Huai's help, she will defeat every man who fights her. When she was in a state of urgency, Guan Huai helped her secretly so that KK managed to defeat her opponent. Suddenly, Cai Ye went up to the top of the sparring area. Knowing that KK was going to fight her, Guan Huai couldn't help his friend. Moreover, assassins came around the match area, so he chose to leave. In that fight, Cai Ye easily defeated KK. When she was about to fall after being attacked by Cai Ye, a man named Li Zheng came to save her. Master Feng then announced that the young man was the winner and would be KK's future husband. Meanwhile, Guan Huai is following Cai Ye, who is about to leave the city, making her angry and attacking him. He explains that he still needs her help because assassins are still looking for him. At KK's place, the young man introduced himself as Man Qing's son and Princess Dawn's son. Master Feng was even more excited and wanted to immediately marry off his daughter to Li Zheng. However, KK still tried to refuse the marriage. At that time, Princess Dawn looked worried about Li Zheng's departure and didn't like his attitude of wanting to find out where Guan Huai was. Seeing that the situation did not improve, she immediately discussed the matter with YOUKU and ordered him to find a way to immediately kill Guan Huai. Meanwhile, Guan Huai, who came home, saw the assassins were there, so he immediately left the house to meet Cai Ye. When he met her, Guan Huai told her he wanted to take his mother's relic home. On the other hand, at that time, Li Zheng remembered his mother's words: if Guan Huai returned, then all the rights he had now would be lost because they would be given to Guan Huai. Even so, he still wanted to keep his promise to his father that he would bring Guan Huai home. However, KK was not happy with the existence of Li Zheng and her family. She asked why Li Zheng had come to the city, and he told her he was looking for someone named Shang Guan. KK said that the person named Shang Guan had died. After that, she left him. Behind the house, Guan Huai finally managed to retrieve the inheritance belonging to his mother with Cai Ye. The next morning, KK wanted to take Li Zheng around the city on a horse, but her horse got out of control and almost hit Guan Huai. Realizing this, Li Zheng saved Guan Huai and helped KK, who almost fell off the horse. Seeing Guan Huai there, she was angry that her friend had abandoned her during the fight the other day. Suddenly, they were shocked by the news of the death of someone who was killed by a mountain demon. Then, Guan Huai went with a grandmother who told him about it. The curious Li Zheng asked KK who the young man was chatting with. She only replied that he was her old friend. On the way home, KK felt her leg hurt from the previous fall, so Li Zheng helped treat her. Seeing his kindness, she told him that the person he was chatting with earlier was Guan Huai and told him that since childhood, she had lived with Guan Xian. Finally, KK introduced Li Zheng to Guan Huai. When Li Zheng told him that Guan Huai was his brother, he looked shocked and didn't want to admit it and left Li Zheng. On another occasion, Li Zheng invited him to go home, but the invitation was refused until KK came. Not long after, the three of them were shocked again by the news of someone allegedly killed by a mountain demon. When they saw the person who was attacked, a group of people suddenly said it was not the work of the mountain demon. During the debate, Guan Huai saw Cai Ye, so he tried to chase after her even though, in the end, he couldn't find her. When joining Li Zheng, KK, and the others in the forest, Guan Huai was surprised by the arrival of the controlled residents. He told them all to avoid fighting. After successfully escaping from the residents' pursuit, Guan Huai separated them, who were now hiding. Unfortunately, KK is kidnapped by a mysterious person. Meanwhile, Guan Huai is with Xun Huan and Xun Huan, who are Tianlong students. Elsewhere, the captured KK would be sacrificed, so she attempted to escape. Soon after, Xun Huan, with Xun Huai, told about the murder and kidnapping case carried out by Ban Wuji, a Tianlong school student who killed his own lover named Hong Er and is now a fugitive. Afterward, Li Zhang finally told him that KK had been kidnapped. The next day, they were still trying to find KK in the forest. While searching, Xun Huai meets a veiled woman he thinks is a mountain demon. However, they both ended up losing track of the mountain demon because they prevented the veiled woman from attacking a woman who turned out to be the real mountain demon. Annoyed, he was punched by her until he couldn't move. Fortunately, Li Zhang finally saves Xun Huai, and they plan to disguise themselves as women until they meet the mountain demon. However, due to the strong power of the mountain demon, they both lost. Luckily, they were helped by Xun and Xun Huan, so Xun Huai asked Li Zhang to escape first. After that, he outwits the mountain demon by saying he knows how to maintain her beauty without sacrificing young women. After taking the three of them captive, the mountain demon asked for the beauty recipe. Then Xun Huai revealed the fake recipe, so she went to look for it. Xun Huai, who knew Li Zhang had followed them, told him to look for KK's whereabouts. Meanwhile, the Tianlong students had arrived in front of the mountain demon's lair. When a woman came, Xun Huai and his two friends were trying to untie their bonds. Xun Huai found out that it was a mountain stealth disguise. At that moment, Xun Huan realized that the mountain demon was Ban Wuji, who had killed his own lover and turned into a demon. After his disguise was exposed, he wanted to kill Xun Huai and the two Tianlong students. However, Xun Huai said Ban Wuji's motive was to kill a girl who looked like Hong Er to evoke memories of living with her. Since only Xun Huai understood him, Ban Wuji gave him a few more days before he was sacrificed. On the other hand, Li Zhang finally managed to find KK's whereabouts, and with his ability to control the flying knife, KK was saved. After dropping her home, he returned to save Xun Huai despite Master Feng's opposition. Meanwhile, Ban Wuji, who was about to perform the sacrifice, was performing a ritual. He changed his appearance to resemble Hong Er because the sacrifices were made to honor her death. Unexpectedly, Xun Huai managed to untie the knots in his hands and fight. However, Ban Wuji was too strong, even though Xun Huai was assisted by two other people. In fact, Xun Huan had to lose his left arm. When the three of them were cornered, Cai Ye came to help defeat the demon. Xun Huai, who fainted after fighting, was carried out by Li Zhang and Grandpa Xiao. Meanwhile, Xun Huan and Xun were blocked by other Tianlong students, and to avoid division, Xun Huan asked Xun to go. After being rescued, Xun Huai comes to his senses, and Grandpa Xiao takes him back to Manqing's residence. However, Xun Huai resentfully refused the invitation and asked KK how Xun Huan was. Soon after, Xun Huai meets Xun Huan with KK. Xun Huan tells about Xun, so they devise a plan to help Xun Huan reunite with Xun. Finally, they manage to find Xun and take her away. Then Xun Huan thanked them. Another time, Xun asked Xun Huai to return home. Luckily, when cornered, Grandpa Xiao came to the rescue of Xun Huai to ask him to return to the Manqing residence. Despite initially refusing, Xun Huai finally agreed after Grandpa Xiao said he would find his mother's killer. After Xun Huai reached the palace, Manqing finally met his long-lost son. However, Princess Dawn didn't seem to like his arrival. Not long after, Manqing asked his son to come in and change clothes to rest. When KK and Li Zhang arrived there, she was very impressed with the atmosphere in the palace. Then he asked the maid to serve KK well while he went to see his mother. On the other hand, Princess Dawn was very upset with Li Zhang for seeking the whereabouts of Xun Huai, who would threaten his position. Meanwhile, Manqing tries to bond with his son, but Xun Huai insists on not accepting his father for dumping him for 20 years. To make up for all his mistakes, Manqing wanted to pass on the ultimate move of the flying knife to his son, but Xun Huai refused and left him. Sometime later, Manqing met Princess Dawn and asked her not to dwell on the past and accept Xun Huai's presence. However, she refused his wish to legitimize Xun Huai as her biological son. When Xun Huai was in his room, he saw a flying knife that reminded him of his memories with his mother. In the past, he asked who his father was, but his mother never told him. Now, he is trying to understand the meaning of his mother's relics. Not long after, Li Zhang came and asked him to respect their parents more. Hearing this, Xun Huai became annoyed. At night, Manqing, who saw Xun Huai upset, showed the technique he would pass on to his son. He was impressed by how powerful the move was, so the next day, he tried to train with Li Zhang while KK was watching them. From a distance, Manqing and Grandpa Xiao, who saw them practicing, looked happy. He orders Grandpa Xiao to prepare for Xun Huai's inauguration ceremony as his son. However, from the rooftop, Cai Ye tries to kill Manqing by throwing a flying knife weapon, which is thwarted by him. Cai Ye, who managed to escape from the palace, returned to the inn and was injured by his attack. Meanwhile, Xun Huai and Li Zhang's relationship seems to be getting closer, and he asks Xun Huai to inherit their father's secret skill. However, Xun Huai still couldn't accept the kindness. The next day, Li Zheng saw Guan Huai practicing internal energy. Princess Dawn saw that and was very annoyed with him being so good with Guan Huai. She was afraid that Guan Huai's position would be used to threaten Li Zheng. However, he didn't think so and wanted his mother to give Guan Huai a chance. On the day of Guan Huai's inauguration as Man Qing's son arrived, and among the guests, Cai Ye was surprised to learn that Guan Huai was a descendant of Man Qing. When the event was about to start, the swordsman who came questioned the truth. Guan Huai, who heard the question, said that he was not a descendant of Man Qing and challenged all warriors to a fight so that he could find his mother's killer in exchange for his treasure map. Soon after, Eunuch Gao came to defuse the situation and suggested that Guan Huai's endorsement should be done with the approval of the emperor's family. Humiliated, Guan Huai leaves but is confronted by warriors who want to defeat him. Suddenly, Man Qing used his inner strength to subdue every swordsman who wanted to defeat him. Not wanting to trouble Man Qing, Guan Huai decided to leave his residence even though his decision was opposed by Li Zheng. The departure of Guan Huai was known by Princess Dawn, who ordered her maid to tell the news to Eunuch Gao to kill Guan Huai. Guan Huai, who was going alone, was blocked by the cultivators, and Cai Ye came to help him. Due to the fight, he fell into the abyss, and Cai Ye jumped up to help him. Luckily, they still survived because of a tree growing in the ravine. Just then, she asked if Guan Huai had any relationship with Man Qing. Then he said he had nothing to do with it and let go of Cai Ye's grip. Unfortunately, Guan Huai fell into a ravine and was found by a mysterious grandfather named Grandpa Zhu Jian, who was treating Guan Huai's wounds. Meanwhile, Cai Ye was worried and looked for Guan Huai in the abyss but couldn't find him. After Guan Huai came to his senses, he was treated by Grandpa Zhu Jiang, who asked Guan Huai to call him father. The stubborn Guan Huai refused to obey his words, so the old man didn't want to treat him. On the other hand, KK and Li Zheng searched for Guan Huai until nightfall, but they fell into a trap, so they were trapped there. On the other hand, Guan Huai, who felt he couldn't take it anymore, apologized to his mother because he couldn't continue her wish to live a better life. Finally, Grandpa Zhu Jiang channeled his inner strength to treat his wounds. Elsewhere, Han Zhu meets Ban Wuji's men and informs them that Ban Wuji has been killed by Guan Huai, which makes them intend to take revenge. After being treated, Guan Huai has now recovered. Then Grandpa Zhu Jiang tells him that his request for Guan Huai to address him as a father is just a test. The next day, Ban Wuji's men stirred up a riot in Man Qing's residence, causing Man Qing to come out to ask about their reasons. After finding out that Guan Huai was not there, they left the Man Qing residence. Meanwhile, Cai Ye kept remembering when Guan Huai fell into the abyss, which made her sad. Not long after, he got an assignment from the great teacher to destroy some martial arts members in the city. After a long absence, Li Zheng and KK returned to the Man Qing residence, and the princess was very happy to see her son had returned. In the abyss, Guan Huai looks confused about whether to master the moves passed down by his mother or from the Man Qing family. Grandpa Zhu Jiang suggested that he choose one of the secret weapons because he couldn't possibly master two moves at once. Then, Grandpa Zhu Jiang told how he fell into the abyss after being framed by his younger brother. Hearing his story, Guan Huai was willing to help him take revenge. However, knowing Guan Huai's martial arts skills were very low, Grandpa Zhu Jiang would teach him all his moves. Meanwhile, Cai Ye, who is meeting her teacher, is given a flying knife secret weapon to destroy the good name of the Man Qing family. Using the flying knife weapon, they will kill some members of the martial arts school. Soon, the news began to spread throughout the city. Shortly after, Guan Huai continued to deepen his fighting skills until Grandpa Zhu Jiang again reminded him to choose only one secret weapon. Finally, he decided to choose a flying knife weapon. After investigating the massacre of the city's martial arts school, Han Jun found flying knife weapons in every murder incident, so Eunuch Gao had time to suspect Man Qing's involvement. Soon after, Eunuch Gao goes to Man Qing regarding this matter, but he says he is not involved. Besides, the flying knife weapons used are different from the flying knife weapons belonging to the Li family. Man Qing guessed that someone wanted to destroy his good name. Not long after, Princess Dawn came to see Man Qing. She said that the perpetrator of the massacre was Guan Huai. However, he did not believe it and asked her not to make a decision before knowing the truth. On the other hand, Grandpa Zhu Jiang, who felt his life was useless, chose to transfer all his power to Guan Huai until he was helpless. Before he died, he gave Guan Huai a scroll about the flying knife's secret technique guide and asked Guan Huai to promise to avenge himself. Then he asked Guan Huai to meet someone and give him something. Guan Huai agreed to all of his requests. Afterward, Guan Huai went to the city to look for his teacher's younger brother, and it turned out that he was the leader named Master Zheng. At a restaurant, Master Zheng meets with Hanju, Eunuch Gao's accomplice. While chatting, a servant delivered a letter to Master Zheng, which contained his elder brother's necklace so that he remembered what had happened in the past and frightened him. While on his way home, Master Zheng surprisingly fell and was declared dead after being examined. Knowing her husband had died, his wife ordered her subordinates to find the killer. On the other hand, Xun Huai met a woman who was ordered by his teacher and gave the last message from the teacher. She said that her teacher had been killed by his classmates. Afterward, Xun Huai went to Master Zheng's tomb. Suddenly the tomb exploded from within, and he emerged from within the tomb. It turned out that Master Zheng was only pretending to be dead so as not to be killed by Xun Huai. Soon after, Master Zheng met with Long Yi and asked him to be his bodyguard. Xun Huai, who saw that, attacked them with his flying knife. However, Master Zheng feels safe because Long Yi is there and warns Xun Huai not to do anything to him. Not long after, Cai Ye came to the venue and a fight ensued. In that battle, Long Yi used his secret move to binding Xun Huai and Cai Ye. However, he managed to kill Master Zheng using flying knives. Knowing his abilities were so high, Long Yi apologized for his mistake. Unfortunately, they couldn't untie the chains, so Xun Huai and Cai Ye continued their journey to find the person who could untie them. Arriving at the inn, they had to share a room because their hands were still tied. He then asked why Cai Ye had a grudge against the Li family. She recounted that in the past, all members of her family were massacred by the Li Huai family. Then Xun Huai said if he was a descendant of the Li family, he would give his life to Cai Ye after he managed to take revenge for his mother. Afterward, they both fell asleep. Meanwhile, KK, who was with Li Zheng, said she wanted to get information about Xun Huai's whereabouts. Suddenly someone tried to pick it up. With her abilities, KK managed to catch the pickpocket and scare him with a flying knife. At that time, Master Zheng's men were there and were suspicious, so they followed KK and Li Zheng. In the forest, they attacked KK and were seriously injured enough that Li Zheng took out his flying knife, so they were frightened. Fortunately, KK and Li Zheng were finally able to escape. At the Manqing residence, Grandpa Xiao reported that Master Zheng's killer was a person who could use flying knives. Manqing suspected that Xun Huai was doing it, so he ordered Grandpa Xiao to find Xun Huai and protect him. Meanwhile, Xun Huai continues his quest to find the person who can untie Long Yi's chains. Suddenly, a strange thing happened because they circled in the same place and decided to rest there. On the other hand, Li Zheng looked very worried about KK's injuries. Then the doctor said that her injuries weren't that serious. Then she asked for delicious food, so Li Zheng served the food she asked for. After that, they eat together. At night, when they were sleeping, a snake suddenly bit Cai Ye's hand, which woke Xun Huai. Knowing this, he inhaled the poison, poisoned himself, and fell unconscious. Cai Ye looked very sad and worried about his condition. Long Yi then gave the antidote he had. Cai Ye, who was still worried, ended up watching Xun Huai all night. In the morning, Long Yi woke up his two comrades, and when Xun Huai woke up, he was already in Cai Ye's arms. Not long after, strange things happened, so they all tried to escape. Unfortunately, Xun Huai and Cai Ye were separated from Long Yi. After successfully escaping from that place, Xun Huai and Cai Ye had to cross a chain bridge to arrive at a house and find Long Yi, who was taken prisoner. They watched Long Yi from a distance, and it turned out that he was being held captive by a woman who was about to take his blood. Seeing that, Xun Huai tried to help Long Yi, but suddenly he was finally attacked by the woman who could control the mysterious doll and made them both cornered and hide in a room. There, Cai Ye gave a pill to Xun Huai. However, Xun Huai made fun of Cai Ye by pretending to be unconscious after taking the pill, which irritated her. Then they both planned to run away from there. Suddenly, the room door opens, and they are attacked again and fall into the secret room. Then they tried to find a way out of the place. Meanwhile, Long Yi was about to be sacrificed. Soon after, Xun Huai and Cai Ye, who heard his scream, tried to find him. They both arrived at a mysterious room filled with many dolls. Then Xun Huai checked the gaps in every wall and heard Long Yi scream again. Finally, he managed to find the secret door. As he opened the door, he was attacked by the female kidnapper. When pressed, Xun Huai took out his secret flying knife technique and defeated the woman. Feeling threatened, she used Long Yi as a prisoner she was about to kill. Suddenly, Xun Huai sees another woman lying there, and it turns out that she is the older sister who will be awakened for sacrificing Long Yi. Then he helped and managed to wake the older sister. However, her awakening turned out to be only temporary. Before her death, the older sister said that her sister could live a better life and thanked her for trying so hard to resurrect her. Finally, Xun Huai and his two companions said goodbye to her after she told them the way out. Shortly after, the woman sacrificed herself to be with her older sister when everyone was gone. Xun Huai and his two companions were shocked when they saw the house on fire. At the same time, they woke up from their dream. Afterward, they planned to continue their journey, and Long Yi asked his two companions to wait for him as he would be looking for water supplies. On the way, strangely, the bridge they crossed was exactly the same as in the dream they had experienced. While crossing the bridge, they fell into a place where the mysterious swordsman they had been looking for was named Xun. It turned out that he was a healer. When they entered, they were surprised by a chicken flying towards them. Soon the two swordsmen asked them to catch the chicken. After successfully catching the chicken, Xun, knowing Xun Huai's intention to break the chains, challenges them to hatch the chicken's egg. They agreed, and several attempts were made but failed until Cai Ye expended her inner strength, followed by Xun Huan and Long Yi to warm the egg until it hatched. After that, they asked to untie the chain. However, Xun warned that Xun Huan and Cai Ye were forbidden to love each other if the bond was untied. Afterward, he said he didn't want to untie the knot, but Cai Ye insisted on letting it go. Then Xun complied with the request and released a love poison beetle that could poison them if they fell in love. He also said that releasing the chain would take all night. Soon after, Xun Huan and Cai Ye look sad that they can't love each other. Until at night, when she tried to hold onto his hand, the chains disappeared. The next morning, when Xun Huan woke up, he did not see Cai Ye there. Then, the three of them finally said goodbye to leave the place. Meanwhile, at Man Qing's residence, warriors kept coming to ask him to be responsible for the death of Master Zheng, who was killed by Xun Huan. Afterward, the swordsmen attacked him, and he could easily defeat them. Not long after, Man Qing ordered Grandpa Xiao to look for Xun Huan's whereabouts. At that time, Xun Huan looked sad because he had to part with Cai Ye. He went on a journey with Long Yi, who invited him to fight, but Xun Huan refused, so he asked Long Yi to carry him. Even after Long Yi carried him, Xun Huan still refused the invitation to fight and decided to go to his mother's grave. Finally, they arrived at the city. There, Xun Huan met KK and Li Zheng. They all celebrated the meeting by eating together. Not long after, Xun Huan was seen giving some money to the woman he was helping on the street. At home, a woman named Wu Shang was visited by one of Cai Ye's men, who would help her and give her enough money to survive on the condition that she joins her school. Meanwhile, Li Zheng looked jealous seeing KK and Xun Huan's closeness, so he chose to leave them. At KK's residence, Han Jun invites Master Fang to cooperate. If he refuses, Master Fang will be considered Eunuch Gao's enemy. A while later, KK came and told her father that she had met Xun Huan. Hearing that, her father was pensive and remembered the task given by Han Jun and asked KK to take Xun Huan to eat together. Meanwhile, Cai Ye faces her teacher and she assigns a task to kill Li's descendants, which makes her doubtful, especially since she loves Xun Huan. When Xun Huan is about to go to his mother's grave with Long Yi, he meets KK, who informs him that her father invited him to eat together. At his mother's grave, Xun Huan made tombstones, and after praying for his mother, he and Long Yi went to drink wine together. When Master Fang and Han Jun discuss winning over Xun Huan, KK accidentally overhears their conversation and worries about him. When she was looking for a way to help Xun Huan, Li Zheng came to see her, so she asked him to help her. However, Li Zheng was still jealous and annoyed and left the place. Not long after, Xun Huan and Long Yi spent the night drinking wine. He tells the story of his life. Feeling the same fate, they promised to be adopted brothers for life. The next day, they were woken up by a servant. Xun Huan, who remembered the invitation to a meal at KK's house, asked Long Yi to go with him. Arriving at the Fang residence, Master Fang warmly welcomed Xun Huan, which made him suspicious. Meanwhile, KK, who was in the room, was deliberately given sleeping pills so that she would wake up late and not thwart her father's plans. The meal started, and Master Fang poured wine for Xun Huan and Long Yi. Xun Huan felt that something was wrong with it. Not long after, KK came to ask him to leave, but they were blocked by the troops about to arrest him. Soon after, Li Zheng was seen there trying to save them. Suddenly, Cai Ye came to ask about Xun Huan's heirloom map with her men. However, he didn't want to tell, so Cai Ye stabbed him and shocked him to think she didn't love him anymore. Afterward, she chose to leave that place to leave them. Unfortunately, Long Yi had been taken prisoner by Han Jun and still refused to reveal the whereabouts of Xun Huan's heirloom map. Having failed to obtain the heritage map information, Han Jun began to devise other plans to obtain the information. On the other hand, Cai Ye regretted and felt guilty after stabbing Xun Huan and chose to leave her friend to relieve her grief. Then she accidentally saw Xun Huan lying unconscious while walking in the forest. Afterward, she came over and channeled her inner strength to help him. Suddenly, it was heard that KK had come, so she hid behind a tree. KK, who found Xun Huan, took him to the city to get help. Sometime later, Han Ju received a message that a mysterious murder had occurred. Hearing this, he put Li Zheng in prison so that Li Zheng wouldn't get in the way of his plans. He ordered his troops to go after the killer. Suddenly, Xun Huan appeared and killed one of the guards there. After being chased by Han Jun and his troops to distract them, Shang Guan returned to the prison to release Li Zheng and Long Yi. Han Jun, who realized it was a trap, asked his troops to return to the prison and found all his captives had escaped. In their escape, they were assisted by KK, who took them to safety. A few days later, when Xun Huan and his friends went to the restaurant, they met Grandpa Xiao, who was happy that he was doing well. Shortly after, Grandpa Xiao invites himself to return to the Man Qing residence. However, Xun Huan refused the request. Grandpa Xiao was worried about his safety because now he was the target of all the warriors. Suddenly, a servant announces that a martial arts competition is taking place, so Xun Huan is interested in participating. The next day the competition started, and the leader, Bai Liu, announced that the competition prize was a secret about the existence of heirloom weapons. During the match, one participant cheated because he was assisted by another partner using poisonous insects. Xun Huan, who managed to dismantle it, was finally challenged by the owner of the poisonous insect to a fight. Cai Ye came to help Xun Huan when he was cornered. After Cai Ye was hit by her opponent's attack, Xun Huan used a flying knife move to defeat them. Finally, they won the competition, but Xun Huan relented and gave the title to Cai Ye. At the same time, Han Jun's troops arrive, saying that Xun Huan is a fugitive from the government. When he was about to be captured, he was assisted by Bai Liu to escape. After being safe, Bai Liu informed Xun Huan and Cai Ye about the weapon's whereabouts by meeting several people who would provide clues. The next day, Bai Liu took Xun Huan and his friends through his secret passage. Before leaving, he gave a badge to Xun Huan and asked him to show the badge to someone. Xun Huan was very grateful for Bai Liu's help. When Xun Huan managed to cross the bridge and showed him a badge, someone told him that the person he was looking for had died, so they were all asked to come in to rest. However, Long Yi felt that there was something odd about the death of the person who knew the hint of the secret weapon. But Xun Huan asked him to calm down and wait for tomorrow to find out more information. After that, Xun Huan went to Xin to get information about the pagoda in the school. He says the pagoda has a secret that Xun Huan cannot enter. The curious Xun Huan went to Cai Ye to inspect the pagoda. Arriving there, Xun Huan was surprised by the arrival of Xing and his men. Finally, he showed his identity as a descendant of the Shang family. Then Xing and his men pay their respects and open up about a secret left by the Shang family. Soon after, Xun Huan, who wanted to know about it, came in with a flute that Xing had given him. As he played the flute, a secret door opened and a flying knife shot out. Luckily, Cai Ye managed to stop it and found a secret map under the pagoda floor. Then he handed the map to Cai Ye, but she refused because she trusted Xun Huan to keep it. Having obtained the secret map, they all said goodbye to leave and continued their journey. Arriving in a city, they started looking for lodging and met a middle-aged woman willing to provide a place to stay for them. The woman was delighted by the presence of Cai Ye, who resembled her lost daughter. Meanwhile, Xun Huan was seen investigating the surrounding area because he felt he was being watched by someone else, but he couldn't find anyone. In the evening, Xun Huan and Cai Ye went out to see the fireflies. Suddenly, a strangely behaving man known as Master Butterfly appeared there, according to Bai Liu's words about the mysterious person they had to meet. Although the man behaved strangely, they tried to find information about the heritage map. After last night's meeting, Xun Huan and his friends met Master Butterfly again. Then the priest opened a secret door which amazed them when they entered because of the beauty of the place. Afterward, they drank together. At that time, Xun Huan asked about the secret of the heirloom. Unfortunately, Master Butterfly did not provide any info. However, after Xun Huan revealed the true identity that he was the son of Guan Xian, Master Butterfly was surprised and finally gave information on the journey to be taken next. Not long after, Xun Huan met Long Yi and invited him to continue his journey. After Cai Ye's previous departure, he realized his secret map was gone. Meanwhile, Cai Ye did not know that her younger sister, Wu Shang, had taken Xun Huan's heirloom map. She was quite surprised after knowing that. However, Wu Shang had carved a mark for them to be found by Xun Huan. On their way to find Cai Ye, Xun Huan and Long Yi followed the sign that Wu Shang had left behind. On the other hand, Princess Dawn met with eunuch Gao and asked what secret weapon he was looking for and asked if he was willing to help. Finally, Xun Huan met Cai Ye at a restaurant. Cai Ye, who knew about this, left after finishing her meal. Then he told Long Yi to follow her. Afterward, Cai Ye asked about his true purpose, but Xun Huan said an obscure reason while following her. Suddenly, he approached Cai Ye, making her nervous, and secretly took the heritage map. After that incident, they both agreed to travel together again to find the whereabouts of the heirlooms. On the other hand, Li Zhang and KK want to buy horses to find out where Xun Huan is. However, the merchant refused to sell it, so they had to steal the horse. On the way, Xun Huan and his friends were confronted by Master Zheng's men, who wanted to take revenge. He tried to explain the truth. However, the explanation was not believed until finally, Xun Huan took out a move given by Grandpa Zhu Jiang, Master Zheng's elder brother. He explained that he met Grandpa Zhu Jiang at the gorge. While explaining, KK suddenly attacked one of Master Zheng's men, so they all had to fight. Xun Huan, who managed to defeat them, asked them to believe him, and finally, they left. Shortly after, KK, reunited with Xun Huan, was very happy. Suddenly, Li Zhang told Xun Huan that his father worried about him there. Afterward, they were seen trying to solve riddles about secret weapons and asking the people there. Surprisingly, everyone forbade them from climbing the mountains in that area. At night, Xun Huan told Cai Ye about the dangers of climbing the mountain, but they decided to climb it anyway. Elsewhere, Long Yi told Wu Shang to be careful because it was said that the mountain was guarded by a very large bird. While on their way up the mountain, Xun Huan and his friends fell into a trap. Soon, a local leader named Zhongmen arrived and warned them not to continue their journey. They kept Xun Huai and his friends trapped there while they searched for the legendary bird on the mountain. Unfortunately, they did not find the bird, so they returned to the cave. Just then, Xun Huai finally showed him the heirloom map he had. Seeing the map, Zhongmen let them go. After that, they all continued the search for the legendary bird together. In that quest, the legendary bird finally appeared and surprised them all. KK tried to fight it, but instead, she was dragged and fell into the valley. Then Li Zheng swiftly helped KK, but unfortunately, they fell together into the valley. Soon after, KK woke up from fainting and saw Li Zheng was freezing. Because of that, she tried to make a bonfire and hoped he would wake up soon. Meanwhile, the remaining group of Xun Huai finally defeated the bird and entered a cave. Upon entering the cave, they were suddenly attacked by an old hermit. However, Xun Huai saw an oddity and then used his flying knife to remove the control needle behind the hermit's neck. The control needle finally released and knocked the hermit unconscious. When he woke up, the hermit asked Xun Huai's true identity after seeing the flying knife move earlier. He says that he is descended from Manqing. The hermit was very happy to know that because he was a user of the flying knife. In the past, the hermit was one of the strongest warriors of his time until one day, he fought one of the strongest swordsmen of the Shang family and defeated him. However, the hermit did not kill the Shang warrior because his opponent pretended to surrender and begged for mercy. When the hermit was caught off guard, he was attacked from behind and ended up confined there. The story touched everyone who was there. Xun Huai then asked if the hermit knew the secret relic. It turned out that the heirloom was a stick belonging to the hermit. When the hermit was about to hand the stick to Xun Huai, he refused because he feared he would disappoint the hermit. Not long after, the hermit asked everyone present to leave except for Xun Huai. It turned out that the ascetic wanted to channel his inner strength to Xun Huai until the hermit died. After that, they all buried him in front of the cave. In the valley, Li Zheng finally came to his senses, but he found KK, who had fainted, making him panic a little. After making it out of the valley, he met the locals who helped them. When he woke up, Li Zheng was already at the inn and saw KK, who was not yet awake. Elsewhere, Chairman Xian and Zhuzhou are discussing a plan to seize Xun Huai's secret wand. Chairman Zhuzhou gathered all his men to seize the heirloom. Meanwhile, KK, who had just woken up, thanked Li Zheng for saving her. However, he still felt guilty for not being able to protect her. At the same time, Xun Huai is still figuring out what the heirloom weapon has to do with the person who killed his mother. The next day, Xun Huai and his friends said goodbye to leave the inn. On the way, they meet Manqing, which makes Cai Ye remember her grudge, so she asks to fight with him. Suddenly, Manqing tries to explain what happened, but Cai Ye doesn't believe it, so he is forced to accept her challenge. After determining the time and place to fight, Cai Ye and Wu Shang left them. However, Xun Huai, who seemed to be following Cai Ye, was stopped by Manqing. Afterward, they continued their journey, and suddenly, they were surrounded by Zhuzhou's men who attacked with poison so that their inner strength was reduced and they could not balance the opponent's strength. Manqing, who tried to protect Xun Huai, was seriously injured. When they were all cornered, Cai Ye and Wu Shang came to save them all and asked Zhuzhou's men to give them the antidote. Unfortunately, they did not have the antidote for Manqing. Because of the attack, Manqing was finally treated. Long Yi tried to give him the antidote pill and did a healing method by removing the dirty blood in the body. Seeing his deteriorating condition, Long Yi decided to look for herbs. Sometime later, Manqing woke up, and after drinking the herbs that Xun Huai had given him, he told his love story with his mother. In the past, Manqing's first encounter with Guan Xian was when she was involved in a fight against a group of criminals. He used his flying knife to help her. After that incident, Guan Xian always approached Manqing, so they both fell in love. However, the relationship did not go smoothly because Princess Da'an wanted to marry him, so he had no other choice. On the other hand, Chairman Zhuzhou went to Eunuch Gao and informed him that all the men he sent to defeat Xun Huai had been wiped out because he was assisted by Manqing. Meanwhile, Cai Ye was meeting with her teacher, Chairman Jie, who had removed his mask so she could clearly see her teacher's face. He asked Cai Ye to get the Li family's secret flying knife skill so she can win the fight with Manqing. However, she refused his orders, so she was threatened. Having no other choice, Cai Ye complied with his request. However, this puts her in a dilemma because she loves Xun Huai very much, but she has to avenge her parents against Manqing. A few days later, Manqing asked Li Zheng for help in persuading Xun Huai so that he was willing to admit that he was a descendant of the Li family and was willing to carry on the secret technique of the flying knife because, at this time, Li Zheng had lost his inner strength. Meanwhile, Xun Huai surprised Cai Ye by showing the swing he had fixed. She was very happy because it made her lighten up with the memories of when she was a child. After that, they grew closer, and even Xun Huai proposed to Cai Ye for marriage. She gladly accepted his proposal. Then Cai Ye broke the news to her teacher. Hearing this, the teacher agreed to their marriage even though the marriage was done to get Xun Huai's flying knife move. Sometime later, Xun Huai and Cai Ye's wedding day drew near. She asked him to write a guide to his flying knife style, which he would later give her on their wedding day. Xun Huan agreed to that. The wedding day arrived, and everyone was busy decorating the wushu school. Cai Ye, who had finished dressing as a bride, rushed over to meet Xun Huan. Then, the bride and groom came to pay their respects to Cai Ye's teacher. After that, they continued the marriage ritual and officially became husband and wife. Meanwhile, KK, who discovers that Xun Huan is married to Cai Ye, becomes heartbroken and vents her sadness by drinking wine. The next day, when Xun Huan woke up, he couldn't find the flying knife move notebook he had written. It turned out that Cai Ye's teacher came and said that he had obtained the flying knife technique guide so that Xun Huan's presence was no longer needed. Then, he was attacked. Even though he had time to fight, Xun Huan's attack was blocked by Cai Ye, so his attack injured his wife. Then she punched him and pushed him down into the abyss as he tried to get close. Unfortunately, Cai Ye fainted after that incident. At the meeting, Cai Ye deeply regretted her teacher's decision to break her promise. She reveals that she doesn't want to take revenge on Xun Huan, Man Qing's son. Hearing that, Chairman Jie was annoyed and attacked her until she fainted. When Cai Ye wakes up, she begs her elder sister, Wen, to help her find Xun Huan's whereabouts. Then Wen tried to find Xun Huan, but they only found pieces of his wedding dress. After that, she told Cai Ye about it, and she was a little relieved because she felt that Xun Huan was still safe. On the other hand, Xun Huan, stranded on the riverbank, was finally found by KK and taken for treatment. After regaining consciousness, Xun Huan recalled memories of when he got married and was pushed into the abyss by Cai Ye. KK, who saw Xun Huan, sadly begged him to forget the incident. However, because he loved Cai Ye so much, he still couldn't accept KK's presence. Because of the refusal, KK got even more annoyed and left him there. On the other hand, Long Yi and Wu Shang, investigating the wushu school, met Wen and invited them to meet Cai Ye, whose condition did not improve. Wen explained what happened and asked Long Yi to take Cai Ye out of place. Without thinking, he carried her away. Arriving at Long Yi's place, he and Wu Shang tried to treat Cai Ye, but neither of them knew that Cai Ye had been exposed to the poison that made her lose her memory. When Chairman Zhu Zhao and Xian were at a place to eat, he accidentally saw Cai Ye, who had lost her memory, and they were both waiting for the right moment to attack her. When Long Yi was going to find medicine for Cai Ye, he met Xun Huan and told him about Cai Ye's condition. However, Xun Huan actually misunderstood that. Then when Zhu Zhao finally got the chance to attack Cai Ye, he couldn't catch her because she had gone. Soon after, Xun Huan accidentally meets Cai Ye. However, he did not know that she had lost her memory. Suddenly, they were surrounded by Eunuch Gao's troops. They threatened to kill her if Xun Huan doesn't comply with his request to stick nails into his body. Xun Huan, who had no other choice, ended up thrusting the nail. Luckily, Man Qing came to help him. Meanwhile, Cai Ye took the opportunity to escape. After that, Cai Ye was confused by Xun Huan's sacrifice, so she tried to remember the events in the past that she couldn't remember at all. At the same time, she was suddenly attacked by Chairman Xian and Zhu Zhao with poison. Soon after, Long Yi and Wu Shang, who was not far away, tried to save her and bring her home. After Cai Ye regained consciousness, Long Yi, who was guarding there, promised to help her to cure the poison in her body. Cai Ye then asked about Xun Huan. Long Yi replies that Xun Huan is the man she loves. A moment later, the poison in her body reacted again, and she fainted. The next day, Long Yi finally met Go Xun and his wife, who had helped untie the chains before. Feeling pity, Go Xun was willing to help and asked him to find a plant to cure the poison. Shortly after, Long Yi, assisted by Wu Shang, looked for the plant, which only grew on a cliff, so he had to go down using a rope. When he managed to pick up the plant, he almost fell into the ravine, but Wu Shang grabbed onto his rope, and it injured her. After that, they met Go Xun, and when he saw Wu Shang's wound, he realized that Wu Shang was their missing granddaughter. Because of that, they were very happy to have met her. With a high level of ability, Go Xun managed to remove the poison in Cai Ye's body so that she began to improve. Meanwhile, when Long Yi was walking with Go Xun, he said he wanted to be his student. Then, he asked why Long Yi wanted to become his disciple. Long Yi explained that he only wanted to help more people with the healing abilities that Go Xun had taught later. When Long Yi entered the room, he did not see Cai Ye. However, he found a letter from her, who had left Go Xun's residence. Shortly after, he said goodbye to Go Xun to continue his journey. Secretly, Wu Shang followed him and decided to continue the odyssey together. After a long journey, finally, Xun Huan was brought by Chairman Zhu Zhao to Eunuch Gao, who asked him to show the location of the heritage map. The next day, he brought Eunuch Gao and his troops to the place. Arriving there, Eunuch Gao asked his soldiers to inspect the cave. As it turned out, he detonated a bomb, and fortunately, Xun Huan managed to escape. After they went inside, Chairman Jie and the wushu students arrived, so a fight broke out. In that battle, the wushu school could easily knock out all of Eunuch Gao's men. Meanwhile, Eunuch Gao ended up fighting Chairman Jie. However, Eunuch Gao looks overwhelmed by his strong opponent. Sometime later, Xun Huai asked Cai Ye to run away. Suddenly, she met eunuch Gao, so they both took out flying knife moves. Fortunately, Xun Huai won the battle and said that the guide technique he gave to eunuch Gao was fake. Afterward, Chairman Jie asked Cai Ye to kill Xun Huai. However, she refused the order, so Xun Huai tried to divert attention by throwing his flying knife to collapse the cave and leave. Soon after, Xun Huai and Cai Ye finally managed to find a secret door. There, she tries to recover her memories with Xun Huai as a couple, but she can't remember anything. Despite his disappointment, Xun Huai convinces her that she is his lover. Suddenly, they received an attack from a mysterious swordsman. Luckily, Xun Huai managed to stop the attack. Upon learning that the attacker was KK, he stopped his attack. KK then shows a knife that someone used to kill her father and accuses Cai Ye of being the culprit. Hearing that, she denied the accusations. The three of them finally continued their journey toward the heirloom until they reached a secret door. Fortunately, Xun Huai managed to open the door, but after the door opened, they got a needle attack in the passage, a trap deliberately set there. After they dodged the attack, they entered the room and found the treasure inside. It was seen that Xun Huai was reading an inscription on the statue. Not long after, Chairman Jie came to the place and took Cai Ye hostage to ask for an heirloom that Xun Huai got. He uses the heirloom to take a mysterious object in the statue so that a stone appears. As the stone was held by Chairman Jie, several warriors from the Li family attacked him, and Xun Huai used the opportunity to take some of the heirlooms. Because of that fight, Manqing got quite serious injuries. Then Grandpa Xiao explained to Xun Huai that Manqing was carrying a heavy enough burden to protect the Li family's good name, so Grandpa Xiao suggested Xun Huai take his father's place. The next day, Manqing, who had just woken up, told Xun Huai that he could no longer protect the Li family's good name because of his deteriorating condition, and he hoped that Xun Huai could one day replace him. Afterward, Manqing explained his reason for choosing Princess Da'an as his wife because, in the past, the Li family didn't have enough power, so he had to marry an influential person. Hearing his father's explanation, Xun Huai was silent. When Manqing's condition improved, Xun Huai and his father returned to the city. On the way, they were confronted by a warrior who could easily defeat them. Upon arrival in the capital, they were greeted by Princess Da'an. On another occasion, Xun Huai, Manqing, and Grandpa Xiao discussed the heirloom fragments that Xun Huai got. Suddenly, Grandpa Xiao had an idea to turn the heirloom fragment into a flying knife that Xun Huai would use. Meanwhile, after being unconscious for quite some time, Long Yi stayed after the fight improved. When he finds out that Wu Shang is taking care of him, he falls in love with her. Then, they went to check the condition of the Manta flowers that the Wushu students had picked. Afterward, they accidentally found a green pearl near the snake they defeated, and Long Yi decided to keep it. Soon after, Manqing asked Xun Huai to go with Grandpa Xiao to blacksmith to make weapons from the heirloom fragments. Knowing Xun Huai's close relationship with Manqing, Princess Da'an was not happy because Li Zheng should have gotten it. At that time, Li Zheng thought that Xun Huai would one day take away everything he got. His jealousy grew even more after he learned that Grandpa Xiao taught Xun Huai his moves. At night, Xun Huai was lost in thought and remembered what his mother had said to him not to have anything to do with the Li family. But now he was on good terms with the Li family. The next day, Xun Huai practiced his flying knife skill. Li Zheng, very jealous of the achievement, asked Xun Huai to train with him. In practice, he easily defeated Li Zheng. Shortly after, they were suddenly attacked, and Grandpa Xiao came to save them. After the incident, Manqing asked Grandpa Xiao to take Xun Huai to see blacksmith to make flying knife weapons from heirloom fragments. Afterward, they finally met blacksmith. However, blacksmith only allowed Xun Huai to enter alone. Before making the heirloom, he asked Xun Huai to fetch water using the available dipper to train focus. With considerable effort, Xun Huai finally managed to fill the water container, and the process of making flying knife weapons began. After a long wait, the heirloom fragments were successfully turned into flying knife weapons. Manqing, who saw the weapon, was amazed by the heirloom that blacksmith had made. Elsewhere, Li Zheng was worried about KK's condition, so he tried to find a healer. While leaving, he met Xun Huai. When he was going to see the healer, they overheard the conversation of the healer who had helped Princess Da'an give birth. The healer said that Princess Da'an's son had been exchanged by Xun Huai's mother in the past. Hearing this, Li Zheng couldn't believe it. Meanwhile, Xun Huai found it hard to believe that he was Princess Da'an's son. Then Xun Huai recalled his memories of being raised by his mother, who always advised him not to approach the Li family. He didn't know what to do after discovering that he was Princess Da'an's son. Meanwhile, Li Zheng, who didn't want to lose everything, went to Princess Da'an and asked if he wasn't her son. Princess Da'an naturally thought he was her biological son. Hearing this, he was relieved that he decided to kill the healer who had helped Princess Da'an when she gave birth. Elsewhere, Xun Huai met Princess Dawn and looked at her from a distance. However, Princess Dawn, who did not know Xun Huai was her biological son, still had a bad attitude toward him, especially when Li Zheng arrived. On the other hand, Xun Huai again contemplates his fate, and he remembers being with Cai Ye, so he goes to Wushu school. Arriving there, he saw her sick and channeled his inner strength to treat her. Not long after, Chairman Jie noticed the arrival of Xun Huai, so he fled from there after attacking Chairman Jie with his flying knife move. On the other hand, Chairman Jie, who was attacked by him, felt something strange about his flying knife move. Later, Chairman Jie ordered one of his disciples to stage a rebellion to bring down the Li family's reputation. Elsewhere, the Wushu school started attacking other schools using the Li family's heirloom flying knife so that all the schools thought it was the Li family's doing. Their goal was successful because many schools began to gather and discuss the Li family's attack on their school. Not long after, Jiwu came to the meeting and ordered everyone to follow his plan to attack the Li family. Meanwhile, news of an attack by a mysterious person using a flying knife has reached the Li family's residence. Soon after, Xun Huai, Manqing, and Grandpa Xiao devise a plan to discover the real culprit. Meanwhile, Long Yi and Wu Shang, who were in the restaurant, overheard the conversation between the warriors who said the Li family had attacked another school. They did not believe the news and planned to investigate it secretly. At the Wushu school, Chairman Jie feels his plan will work this time and can't wait to see the Li family fall. He then ordered one of his disciples to go with Cai Ye to the physician Go Shun's residence to finish him off. When Xun Huai arrived at the Wushu family residence, he learned of the Wushu school's plans, so he followed him to the residence of the physician Go Shun. Just as Cai Ye was about to kill Go Shun, Xun Huai stopped her. However, another Wushu disciple attacks Xun Huai, so Cai Ye kills Go Shun. Because of that, Xun Huai tried to chase after her, who had run away. At the same time, Long Yi and Wu Shang came and were shocked to see that their grandparents had been attacked and died. Seeing the flying knife weapon stuck in Go Shun's body, they thought the killer was Xun Huai. When they met Xun Huai, who was chasing Cai Ye, they both got punched, and he said he would explain everything right before leaving them. On the other hand, KK was deepening the poison knowledge she mastered at home. Not long after, Chairman Jie came to see her. Li Zheng, who knew about it, saw her condition. Then Chairman Jie took out the memory of forgetting the poison beetle, stuffed it into KK's body, and threatened Li Zheng to comply with his request before giving the antidote to it. Meanwhile, Manqing and Grandpa Xiao went to see Xun Huai because they thought the murder was his doing. Because many schools believed it was the Li family's doing, they got a letter of challenge from Jinzi School. The next day, at the family gathering, the Li family elder blamed Xun Huai for attacking another school with a flying knife. Even though he had denied it, he was still accused, so he agreed to accept. Xun Huai promised to win the fight to protect the Li family's good name. Meanwhile, Li Zheng, who had obtained some antidote for KK, was ordered to fire the cannon during the match between the Li family and the Jinzi school. Then, Li Zheng agreed because he had no other choice. The next day, the fighting event started, and it was seen that Xun Huai was very tense about the situation because the warriors had arrived to witness the fight between him and the Jinzi school. During a heated situation, he uncovers that Jinzi school's real goal is to snatch the heirloom from him. Having been caught, he tries to attack Xun Huai, and because of that, he uses his flying knife move. Not long after, Chairman Jie came and made the situation tense. Seeing that Xun Huai is about to be attacked, Manqing tries to help his son. However, when Cai Ye pointed her sword at Manqing, Xun Huai blocked her, so he was stabbed by her sword. At the same time, Cai Ye's memory returned, which hurt her head so much that she couldn't continue killing Xun Huai. Elsewhere, Li Zheng seemed to be blaming the cannon, but his actions were caught by Long Yi and Wu Shang. Unfortunately, the Wushu school ran away after their plan to kill Xun Huai failed. After the attack, Xun Huai was badly injured. Meanwhile, Manqing was very upset with Li Zheng, who betrayed the Li family. Finally, Li Zheng revealed his true identity. He was not Princess Dawn's biological son but Guan Xian's son. Hearing this, Princess Dawn was devastated and could not believe that the child she had raised since childhood was not her biological son. After telling the truth, Li Zheng ordered Xun Huai to take care of KK. Suddenly, the poison that Li Zheng drank reacted and made him have to breathe his last. At the same time, Xun Huai fainted from his injuries. Soon after, Long Yi and Wu Shang go to Wushu school to tell Cai Ye that Xun Huai is seriously injured and invites her to visit him. Cai Ye, who saw Xun Huai again, remembered her past with him. With Wu Shang's abilities, she helps Cai Ye to recover her memories. After drinking the potion, she recalled all the memories of her marriage to Xun Huai in her dream. After waking up, she again drank the potion made by Wu Shang, which made her remember the incident when she killed Go Shun and his wife. After recalling those memories, Cai Ye went to Wu Shang and apologized for her actions that had killed her grandparents. Wu Shang knew this but could only cry and did not want to take revenge against Cai Ye because she knew that, at that time, Cai Ye had lost consciousness. Meanwhile, after Li Zheng's death and Guan Huai's identity were revealed, Princess Dawn was so depressed that it made Man Qing worry about her health. On the other hand, Wu Shang was seen treating KK, who was affected by the memory-forgetting beetle poison. Soon after, Grandpa Xiao, who was in charge of guarding Li Zheng's funeral, was intercepted by a Wushu student who managed to retrieve his body. At the Li family residence, Wu Shang and Long Yi asked Man Qing's permission to take Guan Huai for further treatment. Xia Yue, who was there, pleaded with Man Qing not to kill her teacher because she had been raised by him since childhood. Then he agreed to her request. Not long after, Grandpa Xiao came to report Li Zheng's body had been taken by the Wushu school. Hearing the news, Man Qing ordered his troops to retrieve Li Zheng's body. At the Wushu school, Chairman Jie, who had obtained Li Zheng's body, began to arrange a plan to invite all the schools to the Wushu school. Those who agree to attend Wushu school, they will get a big prize. To heal Guan Huai, Long Yi and Wu Shang went to Go Shun's residence to find a way to heal Guan Huai's wounds. They read all the contents of the healer's book there, and after a long time, they finally found a book about how to treat Guan Huai's wounds. KK, who had received treatment, finally woke up and went to Man Qing to look for Li Zheng's whereabouts. After being told that Li Zheng had died, KK remembered the incident when she poured the poison he drank. Because of that, she feels guilty, especially now that Li Zheng's body is in the hands of the Wushu school. Using a new treatment method, Long Yi and Wu Shang managed to bring Guan Huai to his senses even though his condition was still very weak. When he woke up, Guan Huai saw Cai Yue beside him. At night, Guan Huai and Cai Yue walked together and apologized to each other. Not long after, a grandfather who was a descendant of the former Li family appeared and took out his flying knife. After removing the true flying knife stance, the old man left them. The next morning, Guan Huai and his friends gathered to talk about the school assembly that the Wushu school had invited. They planned to retrieve Li Zheng's body, which had been taken by the Wushu school. Before leaving, Guan Huai went to Princess Dawn to ask permission, but she still seemed to miss Li Zheng's presence. Guan Huai, who saw this, finally agreed to her request to bring Li Zheng back, which made her happy. Shortly after, Guan Huai and his troops left for the Wushu school. On the way, they are intercepted by the assassins of the Wushu school to finish off the Li family in exchange for a sizable amount of money. Because of that, the hitmen attacked the Li family, causing the Li family to flee from the assassins' pursuit. Eventually, Guan Huai, Cai Yue, and KK entered the Wushu school through a secret door, so they parted ways with Man Qing and the others. While walking down the road, a fairly formidable swordsman confronted the three of them. Luckily, with Cai Yue's help, Guan Huai defeated the swordsman. After that, Guan Huai informed that the swordsman had been tricked by Chairman Jie into giving him the heirloom, even though the inheritance that will be given is only part of it. Hearing Guan Huai's explanation, the swordsman began to side with him. After being asked, it turned out that this swordsman was Long Yi's uncle. Meanwhile, Long Yi and Wu Shang wore mouth coverings before entering the Wushu school because they knew the place was poisonous. Soon after, in a room, Chairman Jie was overjoyed to know that many warriors had attended his invitation. Then, one of the swordsmen refused to submit to Chairman Jie. Without further ado, he killed the swordsman. Afterward, the other warriors said that what Chairman Jie did was not right, and they refused to cooperate if he did not show his true identity. Soon after, Chairman Jie opened it, and the warriors discovered he was the strongest swordsman of his era to have fought Man Qing. Elsewhere, assassins catch Man Qing and bring him in front of Chairman Jie, who remembers his past when he was defeated by Man Qing. Chairman Jie then said that during the previous match, he had been lied to by Man Qing. Chairman Jie said that Man Qing killed all his family members when he lost the match. However, that was opposed by Man Qing, who never killed all of Chairman Jie's family members. After the match, Man Qing came to the residence and saw that the Jie family had died. Unfortunately, Chairman Jie doesn't believe his explanation and says that today the Man Qing family will have the same fate as his family in the past. Man Qing said that he had moved all his family to a safer place. Hearing that, Chairman Jie became very annoyed. Suddenly, one of the school leaders present asked for his heirlooms to be returned, but Chairman Jie actually killed the head of the school and made a warning to other schools. The other school leaders feel they are being bullied by Chairman Jie and intend to help Man Qing defeat him. Not just that, but Chairman Jie again said that the place was filled with poison that made all the warriors lose their inner strength. When Long Yi and Wu Shang arrive, he is attacked by Chairman Jie, who asks Wu Shang to drink the poison he made so as not to kill Long Yi. Afterward, she fainted, which made Long Yi irritated. A while later, Guan Huai and Cai Yue arrive there. She reveals that she is very disappointed in Chairman Jie for having been tricked by her father for decades. However, he said he had no other choice. The debate turned out to be an interesting spectacle for Ji Wu, who confessed to being the perpetrator of the murder of Chairman Jie's family because he was very disappointed in Man Qing choosing Princess Dawn as his wife. Ji Wu admitted that he killed KK's father using his poison. Shortly after, the atmosphere got hotter because the Jinzi school carried out a rebellion against the Wushu school. Meanwhile, KK, who had killed her father, attacked Jiwoo with the poisonous technique she had trained so far that she managed to defeat Jiwoo. In the end, the 4 higher-ups of the Jinzi school were easily defeated by Chairman Jie. Later, it is seen that Xun Huai attacks Chairman Jie with his flying knife. However, he had stronger knowledge, so he easily resisted the attack and injured Xun Huai. Seeing his son injured, Manqing fights Chairman Jie and brings out his true strength, causing Chairman Jie to fall. Manqing then used his flying knife move and managed to injure him. Having expended considerable internal energy, he finally ran out of strength and died in Xun Huai's arms. Before he died, Xun Huai had called Manqing his father. On the other hand, Chai Yue is taken hostage by Chairman Jie and asks Xun Huai to kill KK. He refused to do so, and not long after, Li Zhang came under the influence of an evil power. Then Chairman Jie ordered Li Zhang to kill Xun Huai, but it turned out that Li Zhang stabbed Chairman Jie, causing serious injuries. Chai Yue, who was near Chairman Jie, couldn't do anything. Before he died, he apologized to Chai Yue because, for 20 years, he had hidden his identity and made her life miserable. However, she didn't hate him. Shortly after, Li Zhang attacked Xun Huai until he was seriously injured. At that time, KK was seen trying to stop Li Zhang, and suddenly the poison in his body reacted again. It turned out that all this time, Li Zhang's death was faked by Chairman Jie, and he was promised to get more power. However, Chairman Jie tricked him, making him lose consciousness and unable to control himself. Soon after, Xun Huai tries to tell Li Zhang that Princess Dawn loves him and always misses his existence. Hearing this, Li Zhang became very sad but could not fight the poison in his body, so he chose to end his life and plunged into the abyss. After that, Xun Huai fainted. Because Xun Huai was badly injured, Chai Yue finally took him away so that he could get help. Elsewhere, Wu Shang had come to her senses after drinking the poison from Chairman Jie. As it turned out, she was treated with snake pearls as an antidote. At this time, Chai Yue was carrying the seriously injured Xun Huai with all her might. On the way, she finally fainted. Meanwhile, Xun Huai was brought by his great-grandfather to get help. When Chai Yue woke up, she realized she was already at the Manqing residence. She tries to find Xun Huai. Grandpa Xiao tells her that he doesn't know where he is because when Chai Yue is found, she is alone. Because of that, she was determined to find Xun Huai. The next day, Manqing's funeral was finally done. However, Grandpa Xiao was devastated by Manqing's death because he no longer had a good master. During the funeral, it was seen that Princess Dawn's condition worsened due to depression, and she always missed Li Zhang. A few days later, before embarking on his journey, Chai Yue entrusted Wushu to Wu Shang and Long Yi. She asked them to look after all her students while she was away. At the film's end, Chai Yue is seen traveling to find Xun Huai. After several years of traveling, she finally met him, and in the end, they both lived together again. The film ends. The moral message that we can learn from this film is that persistence and unyielding must be possessed if someone wants to get what they dream of.